Hey, Mike.
Hare Krishna. Shik, how are you doing tonight?
Pretty good. Just got done doing some gardening. I'm so out of shape. That just like wears me out. I planted some sunflowers in front. I'm going to plant wild perennials in the back because otherwise our groundhog gets them.
Okay.
We have a groundhog named Gus. He's a
You have a
fat.
big yard?
What's that?
You have a big yard?
The backyard is not too bad. Front yard's pretty small, but I've got kind of a garden. I tried to plant a garden in the back, but Gus ate everything. Oops. Because he's a hog, hence the name. So we're on 9.
Yep, sounds right.
Benjamin will not be joining us today. I don't know about Eric.
So does Eric live in Pittsburgh or?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
See that?
Eric is.
Okay. Want to go ahead?
Let me shrink out there we go. Okay, text 9. Sanjaya Uvacha Evam Uktva Tato Rajan Mahayogeshvaro Hari Darshayamasi Parthaya Haramam Rupam Aishvaram. Synonyms. Sanjaya Uvacha, Sanjaya said, Evam, thus, Uktava, saying, Tata, thereafter, Rajan, O king, Mahayoga Ishvara, the most powerful mystic, Hare, the supreme personality of Godhead, Krishna, Darshayam Asa, showed, Parthaya, unto Arjuna, Paramam, the divine, Rupam Aishvaram, universal form. Translation. Sanjaya said, O king, having spoken thus, the supreme lord of all mystic power, the personality of Godhead, displayed his universal form to Arjuna.
No purport. Aneka Vaktaranayanam, Anekadbhuta Darshanam, Aneka Divya Varanam, Divyaneko Datya Yudam, Divya Malaya Baradaram, Divya Gandhandanule Param, Sarvacharya Mayam Devam, Anantam Vishvato Mukam, Aneka various Bhaktra mouths, Yanayanam eyes, Aneka various Adbhuta wonderful Darshanam sights, Aneka many Divya divine, Abharanam ornaments, Divya divine, Aneka various Udyata uplifted, Ayudan weapons, Divya divine, Malya garlands, Ambara dresses, Dharam wearing, Divya divine, Gandha fragrances, Anu lepanam smeared with, Sarva all, Ascharyamayam wonderful, Devam shining, Anantam unlimited, Vishvasamukam all pervading. Translation. Arjuna saw in that universal form unlimited mouths, unlimited eyes, unlimited wonderful visions. His form was decorated with many celestial ornaments and bore many divine upraised weapons. He wore celestial garlands and garments, and many divine scents were smeared over his body. All was wondrous, brilliant, unlimited, and expanding. Purport. In these 2 verses, the repeated use of the word many indicates that there was no limit to the number of hands, mouths, legs, and other manifestations Arjuna was seeing. These manifestations were distributed throughout the universe, but by the grace of the Lord, Arjuna could see them while sitting in one place. This was due to the inconceivable potency of the Lord, of Krishna. So, have you ever heard, I think they wanted to do this on TV. They wanted smell-o-vision. if he could like, so I guess he just not only saw these, but he could smell the divine sense on Krishna's body. That's pretty amazing. So he not only gave him divine eyes, he gave him a divine nose. So go ahead.
Okay. Text 12. Divi Surya Sahasrasya Bhaved Yugapad Uthita Yari Ba Sadrishi Sasyad Basastasya Mahatmana. Synonyms. Divi, in the sky. Surya, of suns. Sahasrasya, of many thousands. Bhavet, there were. Yugapat, simultaneously. Uttita, present. Yadi, if. Ba, light. Sadarshi, like that. Sa, that. Syat, might be. Basa, effulgence. Tasya, of him. Maha Atmana, the great Lord. Translation. If hundreds of thousands of suns were to rise at once in the sky, their radiance might resemble the effulgence of the Supreme Person in that universal form. So Sanjaya is experiencing this as well, right?
Yeah, he can see everything by the divine eyes of, by the grace of Vyasadeva. He was empowered. That's why my YouTube channel is called Sanjaya 4K Videography, because he envisioned everything on the battlefield, including what they were thinking, what they were seeing, what they were saying, and what their mood was. Everything was known by Sanjaya because he was a student of Vyasadeva. We don't have those kind of gurus around anymore, so we need YouTube.
Purport. What Arjuna saw was indescribable, yet Sanjaya is trying to give a mental picture of that great revelation to Dhritarashtra. Neither Sanjaya nor Dhritarashtra was present, but Sanjaya, by the grace of Vyasa, could see whatever happened. Thus, he now compares the situation, as far as it can be understood, to an imaginable phenomena, i.e., thousands of suns.
Text 13. Tatraikatstam jagatkritsnam prabhivaktam anekada apasya deva devasya sharire pandavastata. Synonyms. Tatra, there. Eka stam, in one place. Jagat, the universe. Kritsnam, complete. Prabhivaktam, divided. Anekada, into many. Apasyat, could see. Deva devasya, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sharire, in the universal form. Pandava, Arjuna, tada, at that time. Translation. At that time, Arjuna could see in the universal form of the Lord the unlimited expansions of the universe situated in one place, although divided into many, many thousands. Purport. The word Tatra there is very significant. It indicates that both Arjuna and Krishna were sitting on the chariot when Arjuna saw the universal form. Others on the battlefield could not see this form because Krishna gave the vision only to Arjuna. Arjuna could see in the body of Krishna many thousands of planets. As we learn from Vedic scriptures, there are many universes and many planets. Some of them are made of earth, some are made of gold, some are made of jewels, some are great, some not very great, etc. Sitting on his chariot, Arjuna could see all these, but no one could understand what was going on between Arjuna and Krishna.
So everyone else on the battlefield, I mean, with the exception of Sanjaya, it would have just looked like Krishna and Arjuna were sitting there still conversing on the chariot.
Yeah, well, maybe they saw like a bewildered, fearful face on Arjuna. He was like, Arjuna was pretty scared of this form, because he didn't even like it, but he just, again, he wanted everybody else to know that it was actually, he did display this form. So he could describe that in the future to anybody that was doubting that he was a supreme personality of Godhead.
Okay.
So
text 14.
Yeah.
What's that? Okay. Tata sa vismaya visto rishta Rama Dhananjaya Pranamya Shirasa Devam Kirtanjalir Abhashata. Synonyms. Tata, thereafter. Sa, he. Vismaya Avishta, being overwhelmed with wonder. Rishta, Roma, with his bodily hair standing on end due to his great ecstasy. Dhananjaya, Arjuna, Pranamya, offering obeisances, Shirasa, with the head, Devam, to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krita Anjala, with folded hands, Abhashata, began to speak. Translation. Then, bewildered and astonished, his hair standing on end, Arjuna bowed his head to offer obeisances and with folded hands began to pray to the Supreme Lord. Purport. Once the divine vision is revealed, the relationship between Krishna and Arjuna changes immediately. Before, Krishna and Arjuna had a relationship based on friendship, but here, after the revelation, Arjuna is offering obeisances with great respect, and with folded hands, he is praying to Krishna. He is praising the universal form. Thus, Arjuna's relationship becomes one of wonder rather than friendship. Great devotees see Krishna as the reservoir of all relationships. In the scriptures, there are 12 basic kinds of relationships mentioned, and all of them are present in Krishna. It is said that he is the ocean of all the relationships exchanged between two living entities, between the gods, or between the Supreme Lord and his devotees. Here, Arjuna was inspired by the relationship of wonder. And in that wonder, although he was by nature very sober, calm, and quiet, he became ecstatic. His hair stood up and he began to offer his obeisances under the Supreme Lord with folded hands. He was not, of course, afraid. He was affected by the wonders of the Supreme Lord. The immediate context is wonder. His natural loving friendship was overwhelmed by wonder, and thus he reacted in this way.
Text 15. Arjuna vacha pasyami devam stata tava deva dehe sarvam stata bhuta vishesha sangam brahmanam isham kalamasan nastam rishims chasar van ugragam shadivyan. Synonyms. Arjuna vacha, Arjuna said, pasyami, I see devan, all the demigods, tava, your, deva, O Lord, dehe, in the body, sarvan, all, tata, also bhuta, living entities, vishesha sangam, specifically assembled, brahmanam, Lord Brahma, isham, Lord Shiva, kamala asanastam, sitting on the lotus flower, rishin, great sages, cha, also, sarvan, all, uragan, serpents, cha, also, divyan, divine. Translation. Arjuna said, my dear Lord Krishna, I see assembled in your body all the demigods and various other living entities. I see Brahma sitting on the lotus flower, as well as Lord Shiva and all the sages and divine serpents. Purport. Arjuna sees everything in the universe. Therefore, he sees Brahma, who is the first creature in the universe, and the celestial serpent on which the Garbhodakshay Vishnu lies in the lower regions of the universe. This snake bed is called Vasuki. There are also other snakes known as Vasuki. Arjuna can see from the Garbhodakshay Vishnu up to the topmost part of the universe on the lotus flower planet where Brahma, the first creature of the universe, resides. That means that from beginning to the end, everything could be seen by Arjuna, who was sitting in one place on his chariot. This was possible by the grace of the Supreme Lord Krishna.
So quick question. It's not directly about this last purport, but it was just something I started thinking of as we were going through it. So, this isn't the first time that the Bhagavad-gītā was spoken. I mean, Krishna talks about how he shared this knowledge with the sun god Vivishvan, but it seems like, especially with the way the verses are written in the poetic form, I mean, there's so many places where like he's directly addressing Arjuna, or the interjections of Sanjaya coming in. I mean, how would that match up with, say, the original way or the first time it was originally spoken?
Well,
would there be changes between like the actual text of it, but the message would remain the same? Or
well, it's a science, the science of yoga. The science, the absolute truth never changes. It's constant. So when he was speaking to the sun god 400 million years ago, the same message was there, but he may not have, the sun god may not have been doubtful about his duties. So maybe the first part of the Bhagavad-gītā, where Krishna had to convince him that he wasn't going to kill his, he would only kill the bodies of the soldiers, that would not be necessary. So it's according to time, place, and circumstances, but I'm sure the basic principle of, surrender to the Supreme, that's the bottom line, and try to please Krishna. And you're entitled to the fruits of you're entitled to doing your duty, but not to the fruits. And all these different aspects of bhakti yoga are probably described, but not the particular details that Krishna is telling Arjuna at this point. It's it's basically the same, though. Everything, the truth is the truth.
Okay.
It reminds me of a Devananda Pandit's song, truth is truth no matter how old. It doesn't matter when it was spoken, it remains the same. The living entities are the same spirit, soul. The universe it may be destroyed and created again and again, but basically the elements are the same. This material world's a prison house, and all the living entities in it are undergoing their reformatory processes of going back to Godhead. That's why Krishna speaks the Bhagavad-gītā, to get everybody back to the spiritual world. That's the purpose. And so he's speaking that to the sun god, but in time that was lost, and so he had to speak it again to Arjuna.
I always wondered, like, how much would be like it's just the message being imparted, or how much would be like the exact same, like, sung verses. But okay.
Yeah. I mean, the message is the same basic message, but it's obviously tailored for Arjuna's state of mind. The sun god's, his family wasn't involved in the war, so of course,
Sure.
It's like Prabhupada. Prabhupada, it said that his books would be the law books for the next 10,000 years. But he mentions hippies. Are hippies going to be around for the next 10,000 years? No. Hippies, thankfully, are not around anymore right now. So, his law books are the law books, and they'll be around for 10,000 years, but time and circumstances change. And so it has to be, just spoken again according to the Desha Kala Patra, time, place, and circumstance.
All right, text 16. Aneka bahudara virta nitram pasyami tvam sarvato anantarupam nantam na madhyam na punas vadim pasyami vishvara vishvarupa. Synonyms: aneka, many; bahu, arms; udara, bellies; vaktra, mouths; netram, eyes; pasyami, I see; tvam, you; sarvata, on all sides; ananta rupam, unlimited form; na antam, no end; na madhyam, no middle; na puna, nor again; tava, your; adim, beginning; pasyami, I see; vishva ishvara, O Lord of the universe; vishvarupa, in the form of the universe. Translation: O Lord of the universe, O universal form, I see in your body many, many arms, bellies, mouths, and eyes, expanded everywhere without limit. I see in you no end, no middle, and no beginning. Purport: Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead and is unlimited. Thus, through him, everything could be seen. Is that the shortest purport?
Well,
I know some don't have them.
In the Bible is Jesus wept.
Yeah.
I don't know what the shortest, verse. There are no purports. There's no purport in all in the mini verse.
Yeah, this is just right to the point.
Yeah, I remember one time, we used to like sell stuff out in what they called the pick, to make Lakshmi for the New Vrindavan. And Chedi Raj, you don't know him because he actually passed away in 1984, but he had the shortest line for, selling a sticker. He just said, sticker buck. He was so funny. Oh man, we miss him. Text 17. Kiritanam gadinam chakrinam cha Tejo rasim sarvato dipidnam mantam pasyami tvam durinixam samantad diptana nalarka dutim aparmeam. Synonyms: kiritinam with helmets, gadinam with maces, chakrinam with discs, cha and teja rasim effulgence sarvata on all sides, diptimantam glowing, pasyami I see, tvam you dur nirixiam difficult to see, samantat everywhere, diptanala blazing fire, arca of the sun, dutim the sunshine, apramam immeasurable. Translation: your form is difficult to see because of its glaring effulgence spreading on all sides like a blazing fire or the immeasurable radiance of the sun. Yet I see this glowing form everywhere, adorned with various crowns, clubs, and discs.
Text 18. Tvam aksharam paramam veditavyam tvam asya vishvasya paran nidhanam tvam avyaya shasvatas dharma gopta sanantanas tvam purusho matome. Synonyms: tvam, you; aksharam, the infallible; paramam, supreme; veditavyam, to be understood; tvam, you; asya, of; vishvasya, universe; param, supreme; nidhanam, basis; tvam, you; avyaya, inexhaustible; shasvata dharma gopta, maintainer of the eternal religion; sanatana, eternal; tvam, you; purusha, the supreme personality; matame, this is my opinion. Translation: you are the supreme primal objective. You are the ultimate resting place of all this universe. You are inexhaustible and you are the oldest. You are the maintainer of the eternal religion, the personality of Godhead. This is my opinion.
Text 19. Anadi mandyantam anantaviram anantabahum shashi surya netram pasyami tvam dipta hutasa vaktram svatejasa vishram idam tapantam. Synonyms: anadi, without beginning; madhya, middle; antam, or end; ananta, unlimited; viriam, glories; ananta, unlimited; bahum, arms; shashi, the moon; surya, the and sun; netram, eyes; pashyami, I see; tvam, you; dipta, blazing; hutuna or hutusha vaktram, fire coming out of your mouth; shvatejasa, by your radiance; vishram, the universe; idam, this; tapantam, heating. Translation: you are without origin, middle, or end. Your glory is unlimited. You have numberless arms, and the sun and moon are your eyes. I see you with blazing fire coming forth from your mouth, burning this entire universe by your own radiance. Purport: there is no limit to the extent of the six opulences of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Here and in many other places, there is repetition, but according to the scriptures, repetition of the glories of Krishna is not a literary weakness. It is said that at a time of bewilderment or wonder or of great ecstasy, statements are repeated over and over. That is not a flaw.
Okay, I guess most of us, me, is so foolish we have to keep hearing the same thing over and over before it can finally stick.
Yeah, you have to hear ati chiram, which says in the Bhagavatam, it means you have to hear for a long time, because our minds are so conditioned that we do the same thing over and over again. It's like a habit, if you want to break a habit, you start doing a different thing. In order to get out of the habit, you have to start doing good habits to replace the bad habits. So we're habituated to satisfying our own senses and to satisfying ourselves. And so we have to be trained in order to satisfy Krishna's senses, to serve Krishna's senses, to perform devotional service for his sake and not for our own temporary, aggrandizement or sense gratification or speculation. Just do what he wants. That's all.
Text 20. Java prithivyor idam antaram hi vyaptam tvyakena dishascha sarva Dirshtvab hutam rupam ugram tavedam loka trayam pravyathitam mahatman. Synonyms. Gyao, from outer space. Prithivyo, to the earth. Idam, antaram, between. He, certainly. Vyaptam, pervaded. Vya, by you. Ikena, alone. Disha, directions. Cha, and. Sarva, all. Dirstva, by seeing. Adbhutam, wonderful. Rupam, form. Ugram, terrible. Tava, your. Idam, this. Loka, the planetary systems. Trayam, three. Pravyatitam, perturbed. Maha-atman, O great one. Translation. Although you are one, you spread throughout the sky and the planets and all space between, O great one. Seeing this wonderful and terrible form, all the planetary systems are perturbed. Okay, purport. Vya prithivyo, the space between heaven and earth, and lokatrayam, the three worlds, are significant words in this verse because it appears that not only did Arjuna see this universal form of the Lord, but others in all other planetary systems saw it also. Arjuna's seeing of the universal form was not a dream. All whom the Lord endowed with divine vision saw that universal form on the battlefield.
It's like a big drive-in movie or something. I could even see it on the highway. Text 21. Ami hi tvam sura sangha vishanti kashid bita pranjalayo grananti svastiti utva maharshi siddha sangha stuvanti tvam stutibir pushkalibi. Synonyms. Ami, all those. He, certainly. Tvam, you. Shura Sangha, groups of demigods, Visanti, are entering Kachit, some of them, Bita, out of fear, Pranjalaya, with folded hands, Grananti, are offering prayers, Swasti, all peace, Iti, thus, Uktva, speaking, Maharishi, great sages, Siddha Sangha, perfect beings, Stuvanti, are singing hymns, Tvam, unto you, Stutibi, with prayers, Pushkalibi, Vedic hymns. Translation. All the hosts of demigods are surrendering before you and entering into you. Some of them, very much afraid, are offering prayers with folded hands. Hosts of great sages and perfected beings, crying, quote, all peace, end quote, are praying to you by singing the Vedic hymns. Purport. The demigods and all the planetary systems feared the terrific manifestation of the universal form and its glaring effulgence, and so prayed for protection.
Text 22. Ridratitya vasavo ye cha sadhya vishve vinam marutash chosh mapascha gandharva yakshashura siddha sangha vikshante tvam vismitash chaiva sarve. Synonyms. Rudra, manifestations of Lord Shiva. Aditya, the Adityas. Vasava, the Vasus. Yea, all those. Cha, and. Sadhya, the Sadhyas. Vishve, the Vivish Devas. Ashvinau, the Ashvini Kumaras. Murata, the Murats. Cha, and. Ushmapa, the forefathers. Cha, and. Gandharva, of the Gandharvas. Yaksha, the Yakshas. Asura, the demons. Siddha, and the perfected demigods. Sangha, the assemblies. Vikshante, are beholding. Tvam, you. Vismita, in wonder. Cha, also. Eva, certainly. Sarve, all. Translation. All the various manifestations of Lord Shiva, the Adityas, the Vasus, the Sadhyas, the Vishvadevas, the two Ashvis, the Maruts, the forefathers, the Gandharvas, the Yakshas, the Asuras, and the perfected demigods are beholding you in wonder.
Text 23. Rupa Mahat Te Bahu Vaktra Netram Mahabaho Bahu Barura Padam Badu Daram Bahu Damstra Karalam Drishvaloka Paratitas Tatanham. Synonyms: Rupam, the form; Mahat, very great; Te, of you; Bahu, many; Vaktra, faces; Netram, and eyes; Mahabaho, almighty armed one; Bahu, many; Bahu, arms; Uru, thighs; Param, and legs; Bahu udaram, many bellies; Bahu damstra, many teeth; Karlam, horrible; Dristva, seeing; Loka, all the planets; Pravyastita, perturbed; Tata, similarly; Aham, I. Translation: Almighty armed one, all the planets with their demigods are disturbed at seeing your great form with its many faces, eyes, arms, thighs, legs, and bellies, and your many terrible teeth. And as they are disturbed, so am I.
Text 24. Nabhas Persham Diptam Aneka Varnam Yat Anam Dipta Vishala Netram Dirstvahi Tvam Pavyathitar Atmam Dirtim Na Vidami Shamam Cha Vishno. Synonyms: Nabhas Persham, touching the sky; Diptam, glowing; Aneka, many; Varnam, colors; Vyata, open; Anam, mouths; Dipta, glowing; Vishala, very great; Netram, eyes; Dirstva, seeing; He, certainly; Tvam, you; Prayathita, perturbed; Anta, within; Atma, soul; Dirtim, steadiness; Na, not; Vindami, I have; Shamam, mental tranquility; Cha, also; Vishnu, O Lord Vishnu. Translation: O all-pervading Vishnu, seeing you with your many radiant colors touching the sky, your gaping mouths, and your great glowing eyes, my mind is perturbed by fear. I can no longer maintain my steadiness or equilibrium of mind.
See, at first he wasn't afraid, but now it says he's afraid. Text 25. Damstra karalani chate mukani dristyaiva kalanala sanibani disho na jane na labde cha sharma prasida devasa jagannivisha. Synonyms: Damstra, teeth; Karalani, terrible; Cha, also; Te, your; Makani, faces; Drishva, seeing; Eva, thus; Kala ala anala, the fire of death; Sanabani, as if; Disha, the directions; Na, not; Jana, I know; Na, not; Labhe, I obtained; Cha, and; Sharma, grace; Prashida, be pleased; Deva Isha, O Lord of all lords; Jagat Nivasa, O refuge of the worlds. Translation: O Lord of lords, O refuge of the worlds, please be gracious to me. I cannot keep my balance, seeing thus your blazing death-like faces and awful teeth. In all directions I'm bewildered.
Okay, 26, 27. Ami chatvam Tarashtrasya putra sarve sahaiva vani pala sangahi Bhishma Drona Sutta Putras Tathasau Sahas Madhyair Api Yodha Mukhyai Vaktani Te Faramana Vishanti Damstra Karlani Vayanakani Kichid Vilagnena Dasanantareshu Sandarshante Churnitayir Uttaman Gai. Synonyms: Ami, these; Cha, also; Tvam, you; Dhritarashtraya of Dhritarashtra; Putra, the son; Sarve, all; Saha, with; Eva, indeed; Avani Pala, of warrior kings; Sangai, the groups; Bhishma, Bhishmadev; Drona, Dronacharya; Sutta Putra, Karna; Tatha, also; Aso, that; Saha, with; Asmadiyai, our; Api, also; Yoda Mukyahi, chiefs among the warriors; Vaktrani, mouths; Te, your; Varamana, rushing; Vishanti, are entering; Damstra, teeth; Karlani, terrible; Bhayanakani, very fearful; Kachit, some of them; Vilagna, becoming attached; Darshana Antareshu, between the teeth; Sandarshyante, are seen. Churnitai, with smashed. Uttama Angai, heads. Translation. All the sons of Dhritarashtra, along with their allied kings and Bhishma, Drona, Karna, and our chief soldiers also are rushing into your fearful mouths, and I see some trapped with heads smashed between your teeth. Purport. In a previous verse, the Lord promised to show Arjuna things he would be very interested in seeing. Now, Arjuna sees that the leaders of the opposite party, Bhishma, Drona, Karna, and all the sons of Dhritarashtra, and their soldiers and Arjuna's own soldiers are all being annihilated. This is an indication that after the death of nearly all the persons assembled at Kurukshetra, Arjuna will emerge victorious. It is also mentioned here that Bhishma, who is supposed to be unconquerable, will also be smashed. So also Karna. Not only will the great warriors of the other party, like Bhishma, be smashed, but some of the great warriors of Arjuna's side also.
Yeah, like I can't remember exactly how many warriors were killed, but there was only like 5 people remaining in that the entire war. There's 600 million soldiers or something like that were all killed. Text 28. Nata nadidam bahavo nirvuvega samudram evabik mukadarvanti tata tavami naraloka vira vasanti vaktrani abhivijalanti. Synonyms. Nyata, as nadinam, of the rivers, bahava, the many, ambuvega, waves of the water, samudram, the ocean, eva, certainly, abhimuka, toward, dravanti, glide, tata, similarly, tava, your, ami, all these, naraloka vira, kings of human society, vishanti, are entering, vaktrani, the mouths, abhivilad, Vadyalanti, and are blazing. Translation. As the many waves of the rivers flow into the ocean, so do all these great warriors enter blazing into your mouths.
Text 29. Yatha pradiptam valanam patanga vishanti nashaya samurda vega tathaiva nashaya vishanti lokas tavapi vaktrani samurda vega. Synonyms. Yata, as, pradiptam, blazing, valanam, a fire, patanga, moths, vishanti, enter, nashaya, for destruction, samurda, with full, vega, speed, tathaeva, similarly, nashaya, for destruction, vishanti, are entering, loka, all people, tava, your, api, also, vaktrani, mouths, samurda vega, with full speed. Translation. I see all people rushing full speed into your mouths as moths dash to destruction in a blazing fire.
So these visions are kind of predicting the future. He's not only seeing everything in the universe, he's also seeing past, present, and future. We got time for one more. Text 30. Lehi yasegra samana samatal lokan samagran vadanar jvalabdi tejobir apurnya jagat samagram bahastavogra pratapanti vishnu. Synonyms. Lehi yase, you are licking. Grah samana, devouring, samantat, from all directions, lokam, people, samagra, gran, all, vadanai, by the mouths, jvaladbi, blazing, tejobi, by effulgence, apurya, covering, jagat, the universe, samagram, all, basha, raise, tabayor, ugra, terrible, pratapanti, are scorching, Vishnu, all pervading Lord. Translation. O Vishnu, I see you devouring all people from all sides with your flaming mouths, covering all the universe with your effulgence. You are manifest with terrible scorching rays. Okay, well, 6:40. Got any questions?
No.
It's a pretty awesome sight. I imagine, it was pretty disturbed when he saw that. I mean, can you imagine like seeing everything in the universe at once?
No.
That's like
Mhm.
information overload.
Even like the beauty would be so overwhelming, the things, the so-called, like, beautiful material things. I mean, it would just be so overwhelming to
Yeah, I mean, the
experience
colors, the
all of that.
effulgence, the scents, the just the perception of all these things at once, it's got to be overwhelming for his mind. It's why he couldn't even, maintain his own equilibrium. And he was like a very qualified individual.
I was wondering why, like, the focus seems to be on so much of, the seemingly negative, but I mean, if he's seeing, primarily, I guess, also the material universes, I mean, all of that stuff is meant for and bound for destruction. So, you're not going to see too much positive, I guess, with that.
Well, there is everything about the universal form is material. It's not a spiritual form. The real form of Krishna is the two-armed form, or Narayan, the four-armed form. But this form is temporary because it's the universal form. That's the impression that I got. And so that's why devotees won't want to see it. They'd rather see him in his two-armed form because they can have a relationship with that form. That's why Arjuna at the end, he asks him to see his forearm form, and then when he asks him to display his his two-armed form, and then he's peaceful at that point. That's the way all the devotees want to see Krishna in his original form. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend.
You as well. See you on Monday.
Yeah, it's going to be like we watch Ron Smiley in the morning. He said it's going to be fantastic. He's this black guy that's got CBS this morning before the news. But yeah, it's going to be like 83 degrees or something on Sunday or something like that. All right, we'll talk to you on Monday. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.